Taylor to get us underway. First attempt to play the world champ in the semi-finals.
Well, Phil Taylor is starting to play a lot of the tour events, which are the mainstay of the professional tour. That's where everybody gets the chance to get to these TV events. And he says he's doing it. He needs to get a little bit of edge back. I don't want to get left behind. Now, this man Peter Wright, he won one of those tour events on Sunday, and I can assure you, you have to play well. You're there for about 6 hours, playing up to 6 games in that afternoon.
Yeah,
so you have to play exceptional, Stu.
Slow start from Taylor. Yeah, Peter Wright has won 2 big Players' Championship events this month. Beat James Wade in a final at the start of May, and then beat Jelle Klassen at the weekend, 6-1, as you say. Terrific performance. Also hit a 9-darter on the tour this month.
Yes, and as he was doing his dancing on the stage, he got to where the car was, and he pointed at the car, and then pointed at himself, saying, I'm going to take that car home. Well, Mr. Wright, we'd love to see you do it. As I said in the previous match, 7 times it was missed in the Premier League. Double 12 each time. I couldn't believe I actually said I'd eat my hat if there weren't a 9-darter in the Premier League. And I've brought a chocolate hat home from Disneyland in Paris, where I was with my grandson, just in case someone makes me eat it.
Well, it's sweet for Wright and sour for Taylor in this opening leg so far. Phil just hasn't got going.
Well, with that shot there, if you're going to stay on the 20s, I like the 25 with that last dart. It guarantees you 2 darts at a double instead of perhaps the 1, because if Phil Taylor hits a 140 here, which he has done, that extra dart of the double could be crucial. Now this is for a breaker throw, very first leg of the match here in their quarterfinals. Well, he's going to get 2, so that's irrelevant.
Well, they were very close, weren't they? Now then, I wonder, not in this leg at all, Phil Taylor, and all of a sudden a 140 gives him a glimmer. Treble 17 would give him some hope. Surely he can't. He was close.
Well, there's nothing worse than messing around with doubles in the very first leg of the match. Now let's kick that across, but he could see the bottom half of that double 8, and he finally takes it out and breaks the throw of Phil Taylor. Well, Phil Taylor's changed the back of his darts to where these new grooves were right at the back. He said the grip was different, so I was pitching too many darts just over the treble 20. So what he's had done, he's had them grooves moved forward, and so there's the grooves and then another 1/4 inch at the back. And he says it keeps that dart about 1/4 inch lower, but instead of it pitching on the top wire of the treble 20, it's either going in or just below. So a little bit of change from Phil Taylor.
Phil Taylor not qualifying for the Premier League playoffs for the first time ever. A dent to his pride, and even now as hungry as ever, even now hates losing as much as he did 5, 10, 15 years ago. It still matters, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does, and the game has improved in depth so much. That's why he loses more games now than he did a good few years ago. We've got youngsters coming through the tour events, the youth, the Challenge Tour, doing 9-darters for fun. So now he'll stay there. Well, he's taken a chance there that Phil Taylor is not going to take this out. That's a little bit of a silly move. Always go for the check out. Do not give your opponent the outside chance.
The gamble paid off, but only just. He wasn't far away, was he?
34.
He's put pressure on the shot from Peter Wright.
Aging required 32.
Snake bite here to double his lead. Wow.
16.
He cannot believe that he's missed. I'm sure Phil Taylor can't. Taylor here to level up.
30.
Well, if any double on the dartboard has caused Phil Taylor more trouble, it's
Game shot.
I had the graphic a little bit wrong there. We apologise for that. It was double 15 he wanted.
I reckon, you know, that he did need 32.
Yes, I thought he did.
But
Well, yes, the referees do it. If whatever the referee says,
Yeah.
he is God on that stage.
yeah, and if Russ said he needed 30, then 30 is what he needed. And that's what he got. 1-1 in the race to 10 to play Gary Anderson.
60.
Well, the first maximum of the match goes to Phil Taylor. And is that going to kickstart his game? Well, I say kickstart his game, Stu. He's just on 102 average, and we're saying that Taylor's playing mediocre.
I think Peter Wright is still agitated and angry with himself, to be honest, at missing those darts in the second leg.
58.
He knows he should be 2-0 up against Taylor. Will they be costly misses as Taylor starts to get into his stride? He's won 12 out of 15 matches in the World Series, Phil Taylor. 2 of those defeats coming on this stage.
81.
Do you know, we talked about Taylor and his disappointment in the Premier League. Same could be said for Peter Wright. He was eliminated after 9 weeks, failed to make it through to the latter stages, and
140.
that was a source of real disappointment for the world number 5.
Well, that's when the character comes out in a player. Well, it's like Dave Chisnell. 3 darts at a double to beat Gary Anderson, clear darts, and then wins a tour event on Saturday. That shows character.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you want to see in any sportsman. You don't want to see him going off crying. Just get on with it.
60.
You can't change history, but you can certainly make the future more rosy.
Game
He was
shot.
always a good guide, that first dart. Taylor here hits the front. Because Peter Wright got through to the final here
125.
in Dubai in 2014. Lost 11-7 to an inspired Michael van Gerwen. But always adds a splash of colour to every darting stage, and then backs it up more often than not with some brilliant darts as well.
85.
It certainly does, and to all of us who know Peter Wright so well, you couldn't get a person that's 2 characters that are completely different. I mean, his stage persona is unbelievable, but he's the quietest man you will ever meet or talk to when he's off that stage.
He is very much a shy man, but put him on a dart stage and he comes alive. Three wins over Phil Taylor in his career. Peter Wright. All on TV, all in the last year.
140.
Beat him in Dubai 12 months ago. Beat him in the Premier League. And also beat him in the quarterfinals of the UK Open. in March.
55. 80 required.
Should be 2-2.
Well, he set it up perfectly, didn't he, with the 140. That leaves Tops to level it up. Good 14 dart leg from Peter Wright. And Phil Taylor, if you just look at his demeanour, Stu, he's getting a little bit frustrated. He's wasting a lot of darts. But that is a perfect. And coming up, the last quarter-finals of this evening, the two Dutch go head-to-head. Mighty Mike against Raymond van Barneveld, the 5 times world champion Barneveld. Could be another cracking game. They played each other last Thursday, so there's a little bit of recent history.
The winner of that last game to play Adrian Lewis in the semi-finals.
90.
I still think that Taylor will win a big title or two this year.
Well, certainly hasn't finished. If you look at his stats alone, forget about the character, look at his stats, he still doesn't throw under the 100 average many times. And when we move into tournaments, when we're the long distance, which is classed as a relatively long distance, and his leg-on-leg pressure and consistency gets him over the line many times. But he's been a little bit frustrated. He's only hit 3 140s so far, which normally is the scoring power of the power.
57. He'll be required 132.
Well, he's got choices, treble 20 or the bull. I think if Peter Wright had been on a finish, he would have gone the bull route.
45.
Yes, he definitely would have done. But he's opened the door here for Peter Wright. Needs one treble, puts the pressure on. Phil Taylor may come back with only a dart at the bullseye, and he certainly is going to put the pressure. Don't miss the big 20. That's all he needed to do. Now the treble 17 will leave Phil Taylor double 18. He'll have 2 darts. The bare 17 means he's only going to get 1 dart at the bullseye or double 5. So that treble 17, and he's hit it. Double 18 to go into this break.
Wow, brilliant from Taylor. He's frustrated, I think. It isn't quite going how he would like it to go. That was a great...
These mediocre legs, he's got to make sure he wins. And certainly the break always helps one player and is detrimental to the other. And those 3 darts says that it's going to help Peter Wright. Well, in his intro onto the stage, he looked at the car and pointed at it. Well, that's number 4. Number 5. And number 6.
Wow. Well. We saw Gary Anderson hit 6 perfect darts in his match against James Wade. Peter Wright hit a 9-darter on the Pro Tour earlier this month. 1-4-1 to make some history.
Wry smile, a little boo from the crowd.
Well,
We're begging for the 9-darter.
We gave him the big build-up. Yeah, he just pointing at the car. Just for a moment, he was hoping. But here responds Phil Taylor with a 180 just to put pressure on Peter Wright.
Well, he's going to get 2 darts at double 12. Oh, that's 1. That's a good guide. A beautiful 12-dart leg from Peter Wright to hold on to the throw. Phil Taylor just tapped him on the shoulder there and saying, "Don't miss it, old mate. I fancy the 1-2-1. Phil Taylor, surprised he hasn't switched here. Well, that's why from where he was standing, there was plenty of room to the left of the first dart.
Well, Taylor's last victory in a big ranking major was the World Match Play last July. It's been a long time between drinks, but of course he did win the World Series events in both Perth and Sydney in August. Good response from Peter Wright. And for Wright, the next step is to win a big one. He's come close. He's been in a couple of finals. Of course, reached the World Championship final, didn't he? Lost to Michael van Gerwen. But just to take it to the next level, for me, Peter Wright and Dave Chisnall are in the same bracket. They both deserve to win one, but
I totally agree with you.
Yes, it takes some doing, but to take their games to the next level, Chisnall and Wright need to win a big TV event.
And what happens, the longer you go without a major, you won't go for the bullseye. Yes, the longer you take to win a major, the harder it becomes. You put more pressure on yourself. And actually, Peter Wright is the only player in this field that hasn't won a major.
We remember, it took Kevin Painter 20 years, but he finally won one. That Players' Championship final all those years ago in Doncaster. Good dart from Taylor. He restores his lead. 4-3 it is.
It was actually the same with Alan Warrener. I mean, Alan Warrener was a tough player to beat on the tour. He won loads of, open events, the ranking events. It took him a long time before he won a major, and that was the Grand Prix.
He did. Alan Warrener, World Grand Prix champion. And you look at and talk about players who haven't won big tournaments. Got Ronnie Baxter, probably in this era the best player never to win a big TV event. Peter Wright with 3 180s in the last 2 legs.
Well, I don't know about Ronnie Baxter, but I'd certainly give it to Terry Jenkins. Seven or 8 times, the finalist in major TV events.
Baxter and Jenkins, the nearly men of darts. They're going to be back-to-back 180s for Peter Wright. It is. As he closes in. Needing 44 to make it 4-4. Mervyn King as well, in the ranks of the PDC, hasn't won a major. He did in the BDO. Double 16. Yeah, brilliant. 11 darter, 4 all. High quality. But when you look at the standard in the game, Van Gerwen's, Taylor, Anderson, Lewis and the like, Phil Taylor finds a third 180. They're mopping up all the big TV titles, aren't they? So there aren't too many opportunities.
57.
In fact, well, the last 5 have been won by Gary Anderson and Michael van Gerwen. Players' Championship finals, Gary Anderson. World champion, Gary Anderson. Masters, Michael van Gerwen. UK Open, Michael van Gerwen. The Premier League, Gary Anderson. It's fair to say the top players are not sharing the love. They're winning all the big titles. That's why they are the best. They are the players to beat.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Well, Phil Taylor has won over 80 TV majors, for goodness sake. Amazing.
Yes, a record that might never be beaten.
Well, Peter Wright won the last leg with an 11 darter. Phil Taylor here.
Yes, he's just winched a little bit because that dart has covered up the double 14, and from where he was standing, it was the flight more than anything. You can see it just hit the flight and went on the outside, but he's going to come back with 3 more darts.
60. Who will require 28.
Well, if he splits this, it's not a bad thing, the double 7. Well, he's split the tram lines, which means 5-4. And Phil Taylor now pushed his average up just over the 100. Peter Wright just under the 100. We were a little bit worried, Stuart, about the breeze here in Dubai and about the outdoor stadium, which we are every year. But you've got to say, the players have certainly done their job this evening.
Well, they put a show on. We talked about before, real competitive edge. They want to win.
Well, this would be a good time for Phil Taylor to break Peter Wright's throw just before we go into the second break of the match. He needs another 140. He's kicked off with 1, needs a second. And here we have the stats. Early part of the game, Phil Taylor's 140 count was not good enough, but he takes the lead now in that count. And it isn't here without a treble from Peter Wright. Well, danger for Wright.
Yeah, he's had 2 poor visits in this leg, Peter Wright. May well prove to be very costly. Fantastic, Philip Taylor.
Well, he's on the 11 dart leg to break the throw. This is what he was so good at. It's terrible to say in his prime, because he's still in his prime. His age says he isn't. This double 16 has been the problem.
Well, not now, it isn't. And Phil Taylor with a crucial break of throw. Advantage. Phil Taylor here as he bids to win a match for the very first time on this stage. He's on his
to throw first.
Already looking
Crucial.
costly misses, yes, indeed.
And as we said before, you know, Phil Taylor, he hasn't won not just lately. When you look at his stats, he very rarely throws a match under 100 average. So Peter Wright at 97 has got to push it up at least 6-7 points. Well, he really took his time on that second dart, and there we have it.
81.
Might have been better switching yet, you know. The doubts were in his mind whether he could find a way through after hitting that first treble, and hindsight's a great thing, but the switch to treble 19 may well have been a better choice for Peter Wright.
Yes, totally agree. If your vision is impaired by the flight, then go for the big target. So that's why the players, the modern day players, really do use the treble 19s, the treble 18s. I mean, Dennis Priestley was always one to use the treble 18. Not many people did. But the modern day players, even the youth players, they don't hesitate to switch.
Just saw a little shake of the head from Peter Wright there, stood behind Taylor. I think he's now frustrated with the way that he's playing.
96.
Well, Taylor's going to get 6 darts from 162. You're looking at bullseye or 25 with this last dart. Guarantees him 2 darts at a double when he returns.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. He's left himself a finish just in case Taylor misses. For 7-4. Daylight between Taylor and Peter Wright. It's 3 consecutive legs now for Phil Taylor as he looks to avenge his defeat on this stage 12 months ago at this stage of the tournament against Peter Wright.
A leg that Peter Wright cannot afford to lose. Plenty of room for the maximum for Phil Taylor to the right of those two darts. And immediately we think of the car sitting in the corner of this arena.
Incredible when you think that we're playing outdoors with a slight breeze, humid, hot temperatures, but we've had 37 180s on the opening night already here in Dubai.
Well, the players were asked to do the job. It's a little bit alien to what they're normally used to. But if we're to grow the sport, then we have to do these things. And they've certainly done the job. Can't praise them enough. All 8 players done all their obligations with the press, local TV. Oh, he's gone for the 180 to lead the double 2.
Why not?
Well, what that does, it causes a bit of noise from the audience. And he's thinking hopefully it'll put Peter Wright off with his first dart, which actually worked.
Bullseye, and it has to go.
96.
Well, great effort.
Well, the double 2 for Phil Taylor is quite easy for him, because if he misses the first dart and it's low, it's a perfect guide for him. Well, he doesn't have to worry about the perfect guide, because the first dart was a perfectly thrown one.
10 dart leg for Phil Taylor. It's a double break. It's 4 consecutive legs now for Taylor, as he pushes his average up to 107. Adrian Lewis earlier averaged 105.68 to overtake Michael van Gerwen and claim the record for the highest average in the history, the 3-year history of this Dubai Darts Masters. Phil Taylor looks like he could be topping that, and we've still got Van Gerwen to come against Van Barneveld.
60.
Well, certainly Peter Wright just gone off the boil a bit. At the same time, Phil Taylor has stepped it up. And possibly the reason that he's gone off the boil is because Phil Taylor has stepped it up. Put that extra pressure on the right throw. And she said 4 legs on the trot. 2 of those have been against the throw, obviously, but importantly, I think it was a 12 and a 10 darter. Those breaks the throw.
Will switch. Yeah, I think you're right. Peter Wright had his chances in the early stages of the game. And don't forget, when he hit his 3rd and 4th 180s of the match in the 8th leg, an 11 darter, he was very much in the mix at 4-all. But the break of throw in the 10th leg has shifted the momentum very much in Taylor's favour.
43.
Rare loose one.
An outside chance for Wright, but he needs a 140. The ton is not enough. But he's sitting up well for the 140, and that's unlucky. A little deflection off the flight. He's on a checkout, but realistically, you're thinking that Taylor will get 6 darts from here. 257s would have left him the bullseye. A visit without a treble is not going to help him.
64.
Well, he's gone. That's to leave the straight 100. So if Peter Wright is going to get himself back in this game, he's got to start here and now.
Well, to go within 1 leg of victory. Beats the treble 19, and now he needs the double.
62. Makes you require 80.
Well, a chance, and it's a chance he has to take. Peter Wright here.
Yes, and he needs the treble 18. he wants 2 darts and gets those 2 darts. And this is to get 1 break back. Now, has that covered it? Now, from where he's sitting, that's actually a good guy. Just slamming into that barrel and it'll deflect in. Yeah, he was well low on that.
Yeah,
he should have tried and used that dart a little bit more.
I wonder if that is it. Is that the game set and match? The chances he had, and he trudges back. Peter Wright, desperately disappointed, hoping Taylor will miss. He's still hoping. And he gets his wish. 4 darts missed by Taylor at double 19.
I was surprised that Phil didn't go 6 for the 16s, to be quite honest. Well, you've got yourself a chance, Peter. Don't pass it up. Chasing round, you can see how frustrated and annoyed he is with himself, because for Peter Wright, they're not really close still, are they? Is this double 4 going to be close? Well, it's close, but not close enough.
Now will he split, or is he going to go straight for it?
Old campaigner stays with it and finally hits it.
Well, a shake of the head, a little smile. I think Peter Wright knows now that the game is up. He had the chance. We have 5 chances.
Well, when you analyse the game, Stuart, you know, and people go on the lose, they go, I lost the last few legs. It's normally other areas of the game that's cost them the game. And when we look at this, it is those early legs, as we mentioned before, when Peter Wright had a chance, you know, to take the lead at 2-0 and then to keep himself in the game, and he's missed those chances. And he's been punished for them. And certainly from here we have seen some miraculous comebacks from players, but Taylor still over the 100 average, just over the 102. I find it hard to believe that Peter Wright's going to get back from here.
Well, 4 out of 17 on the doubles, Peter Wright.
100.
Won't win you too many games, especially against Philip Taylor. Well, after defeat in the first round in the quarterfinals to Andy Hamilton here in 2013, beaten by Peter Wright, falling at the first hurdle again here in Dubai 12 months ago.
45.
Phil Taylor a leg away from a semi-final.
Oh, 180 here. On a 140 will certainly help the cause.
85.
And again, that's 2 darts in the last 6 that have been gone straight into the 5.
98.
He's looking at a 140 to leave 36. Not now, he won't. The worst possible lie for Taylor with that first dart on the 20s.
134.
But that'll do nicely. Will he get a dart? As Peter Wright looks at tops. Well, there we have. 100 check out from Peter Wright. 1 down, 5 to go. But he stops the rock after losing 5 consecutive legs.
Yes, that's more like it from Peter Wright. Good check out under pressure. As you said,
95.
he needs another 5 legs on the spin. And Phil Taylor throwing first in a few of them, well, three of those legs, then it doesn't come much harder than that.
For Taylor, 10 in the match.
58.
Well, again, Phil Taylor has left himself a bogey number, so he's going to need 6 darts minimum to get home from 168, or 2 visits, I should say.
100.
But he is going to get 6 darts from here to finally wrap this game up. He's going to need 2 visits, maybe only 4 darts
36.
for Phil Taylor to go forward for the first time in the semi-finals.
Well, Peter is pondering.
129.
He's hoping it won't be the last dart that he throws, but it may well be, as Taylor looks at double 16
Game
for a
shot.
place in the semi-finals. You can see how much that means to Phil Taylor. Wins for the first time here in Dubai. Taylor goes through to a semi-final showdown against Gary Anderson.
Wait a minute. Before you click away, I want you to subscribe, like, comment, hell, even dislike if you want to. At least do something before you get out of here.